My wife gave birth to a mixed-race baby and expected me to sign the birth certificate. After raising one who weren't mine, I refused. And what happened next shocked everyone. Hello Reddit I plus here. I used to think betrayal came in dramatic flashes, shouting matches, things thrown across rooms. Turns out, real betrayal is quiet. It walks in wearing scrubs and a soft newborn blanket. I was 36, standing beside my wife, Nora, in the delivery room when my entire reality cracked open. The doctor held up our newborn daughter, and I felt my heart twist into something unrecognizable. The baby was beautiful, absolutely perfect. But not mine. She had deep brown skin, dark curled hair, and features that did not match either of us. I am pale with blonde hair. Nora is fair-skinned with freckles. The contrast was unmistakable. The room fell silent in a way I had never experienced. Not a peaceful silence, more like a heavy curtain dropping over everyone. The doctor kept smiling like he had practiced this exact expression for moments like this. The nurses all avoided looking directly at me. One started rearranging bottles on a shelf that was already organized. Another typed nervously on a tablet without pressing any buttons. Nora stared straight at the ceiling, not at me, not at the baby, just the ceiling tiles. The nurse asked if I wanted to hold the baby. I said no without thinking. It felt like hearing someone else speak for me. I left the room, walked straight past the waiting area, past the elevators, out of the hospital. I did not even know where I was going until I was halfway across town and saw the sign for a paternity clinic. I had my 4-year-old son in his car seat. He kept asking if we were going back to see mommy and the baby. I told him we had to take care of something first. $299 for rush testing. The technician gave me a look that said he had seen this scenario far too many times. They swabbed my son and me, told me results would be emailed. I spent 2 days sleeping on my friend Patrick's couch or pretending to sleep. My phone vibrated non-stop. Calls from Nora, calls from her mother, texts from numbers I did not recognize, messages asking where I was, if everything was fine, if I was coming back to the hospital. At 2 in the morning the email arrived. Probability of paternity, 0%. I stared at it, numb. I forwarded it to Nora without typing anything. She called 5 seconds later. I let it ring. She texted asking to explain. I asked how long. The typing dots appeared, disappeared, reappeared. After 5 minutes, she finally answered. 4 years. My son is 4. I felt sick. Not angry, not broken, just hollow. The next morning I returned to the clinic and paid again. Same technician, same silent pity. I brought my son's hospital bracelet, birth certificate, pictures from the day he was born, when I thought my life was pure happiness. Results came back even faster. Not mine, not my son, not my newborn daughter. Both children belonged to someone else. I drove home in silence. When I walked inside, Nora was sitting on the couch with both kids. The newborn in a carrier. My son watching cartoons like nothing was wrong. Nora stood up and immediately burst into tears. She kept saying she could explain. She kept reaching for me. I stepped back. I asked the only question I cared about. Who is the father? She whispered a name I had never heard. Some man she met through a community group she joined. The same group she attended weekly while I stayed home cooking dinner and helping our son with bedtime. She claimed it started with one stupid mistake. Then another. Then it became something she pretended she could control. She begged me not to call her parents. She said they would disown her, remove the children, destroy her entire life. So I called them. Right in front of her. Her father answered cheerfully and asked how his new granddaughter was doing. I said, I need to tell you something. Neither child is mine. Your daughter has been in an affair for years. Silence so cold, it felt physical. He asked Nora directly if it was true. She collapsed into sobs. She could not even deny it. He hung up. 10 minutes later, I saw her mother's car pull into the driveway. She walked inside without greeting anyone. She looked at her daughter like she was looking at a stranger. Her expression was calm, but devastating. She went upstairs. I heard drawers open and close. Hangers slide. A zipper pull. Then she came back down carrying a duffel bag. She said, pack the children's things. Both of them. They are coming with me. Nora screamed that she had rights. Her mother did not flinch. She said, you created this situation. You let him raise children under false beliefs. You are not staying here another night. You will come with me until we decide what happens next. Then her mother turned to me and said something I did not expect. She said, I am sorry for what she did to you. We will remove the children so you are not responsible for what is not yours. It hit me harder than the DNA results. Both children were leaving my home forever. I watched as her parents gathered bottles, toys, clothes, blankets. My son looked confused. He asked if I was coming with them. I had to kneel down and tell him he was going to stay with Grandma and Grandpa for a little while. He hugged me so tight I had to swallow hard just to breathe. Then they were gone, all three of them. Her parents, my son, the newborn, and Nora, pale and shaking, walking out behind them without looking back. The house felt empty in a way I cannot describe. Not quiet, not peaceful, just empty. My lawyer told me I was lucky in a terrible way. Since I never legally adopted the kids, and since both children were proven to be from another man, I had no financial or legal responsibility. Nora tried to text me later that night. She said she was sorry. She said she regretted everything. She asked if we could talk. I powered off my phone. The next morning I woke up in a silent house. No toys on the floor, no half-finished coloring books, no little footsteps running down the hall. I sat on the edge of my bed and realized something painful but freeing. If someone can watch you raise children that are not yours, for years, without guilt, without hesitation, without honesty, then they were never your partner. They were just someone who liked the benefits of your loyalty. Her parents later texted me to thank me for being honest and to confirm the children were with them temporarily until legal guardianship decisions were sorted out. They said they would not allow Nora near the kids until she got therapy. I replied with one sentence: "Please take care of them." Later, Nora sent another message: "Please let me see you. Please. I need you." I never replied. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself is to close the door completely. After Nora's parents took both children, the house was silent in a way that felt almost wrong. I used to think quiet was peaceful. Now it felt like the echo of everything that had been stolen from me. Trust, time, love. Years I spent raising kids that were never mine. I filed for divorce immediately. No argument, no negotiation. My lawyer said it would be a simple process since I had no obligations, no custody, no alimony, no property disputes. It was legally straightforward, but emotionally, every document I signed felt like tearing another piece of my soul away. Nora, however, did not accept reality. Within a week of the divorce filing, she showed up at my workplace. Her eyes were red, face streaked with tears. She tried to hug me in the parking lot, whispered about rebuilding our family, and pleaded for me to let her see the children. I told her calmly that the children were not mine, that her parents were legally in charge, and that I had no intention of helping her manipulate the situation. She left, muttering something about court. Sure enough, the next month, she filed an emergency petition claiming parental interference and denial of maternal bonding. She named me as the defendant, saying I was preventing her from seeing her children. I expected this. What I did not expect was how quickly the affair partner, the man who fathered the children, made himself a key player, but not in the way she hoped. He refused to support her claims in court. In fact, he filed a counterstatement saying he had never lived with her full time, did not have custody, and was not seeking visitation at that time. He made it clear he had no interest in helping her reclaim the children she lost through her lies. He said the children's welfare was being protected by her parents, and that he was stepping out completely. In court, she tried every angle she could think of. She painted herself as a victim. She claimed I had manipulated her, misled her into believing she could keep the family intact, and emotionally controlled the situation. She tried to use the affair partner as a witness, but he refused to appear, leaving her story with massive holes. She brought in family friends, neighbors, even her own siblings to testify that she loved her children, that she was a good mother, that she was simply in a temporary crisis. The judge listened patiently, flipping through the adoption and DNA records, the hospital files, the testimony from Nora's parents, and the sworn statements from the affair partner. Then he asked the single question that cut straight to the point. Do you deny that both children are biologically unrelated to you and that you knowingly misled the former spouse into raising them? Nora's lips trembled. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Her attorney whispered in her ear, but she shook her head. She could not deny it. The room was silent, thick enough to choke on. The ruling came quickly. She lost. She had no legal claim to the children. She could not force visitation. She could not demand anything. The judge's words were deliberate. You have made a series of decisions that removed your legal and moral claim over these children. Any further attempts at interference will be considered contempt of court. She left the courtroom sobbing, dragging the affair partner with her. He looked relieved, almost smug, like he had dodged a bullet. But she was a storm that refused to dissipate quietly. Over the next few weeks, she tried everything outside of court. She sent endless texts, emails, letters, and messages through social media to me, the affair partner, and even her parents. She promised therapy, pled guilt, and even begged for forgiveness as a tactic to regain access. Nothing worked. Her parents refused to give her the children until they were legally secure, and the court rulings prevented any interference. The affair partner stayed completely out of it, leaving her isolated. I never responded to her messages. I stopped answering calls. I kept my phone in another room during the day. The only time I interacted with her was through my lawyer when legally required to do so. Months passed. The storm that was Nora faded into a distant echo. The children were safe. Her parents had full custody and were protective in a way that was difficult but necessary. And I learned something profound. I could not control her choices. I could not undo the betrayal. I could not recover the years she took from me, but I could control my life now. I could protect myself and anyone who depended on me. I stayed quiet, stayed distant, and slowly, without drama, reclaimed my life from someone who tried to drag me into chaos. Sometimes, the most powerful answer is not a fight, not revenge, not confrontation. It is simply walking away and never looking back.